You just wanted Edith to just pick up a frying pan at one point and whack him around the head with it. We are going to start today with a new British comedy out in cinemas at the moment called Wicked Little Letters. And this is based on a true story, or a story which is more true than you would think, as the caption says at the beginning, based in Littlehampton in 1920. And this has God-fearing spinster Edith Swan, played by Olivia Colman, receiving a storm of poison pen letters. And all of the evidence points to the foul-mouthed single mother Rose Gooding, who lives next door, played by Jessie Buckley. But will justice be served? Here's a clip.
We'll catch them in the act.
What would your husband think?
My husband isn't alive, Ray, so he's not thinking a great deal.
I like you, Rose.
I hate her!
You don't like the idea of me leaving this house, do you?
I'm going to lose her.
We're not standing for it.
I've had one now.
Everyone is going to know. It's German.
How did you manage to find a clip and not play a swear word?
Yeah, that's quite good, isn't it? Yeah.
That was impressive.
That was impressive. I have to give the makers of that trailer credit for putting both that version, which is the sweary version, and the PG version together, and choosing to use Baccarat's Yes Sir, I Can Boogie from 1977, which I think is just perfect piece of music that kind of fits the mood of the film. Who are we going to start with? Emma, let's start with you. Ladies first. What did you reckon to this?
I enjoyed myself.
Oh,
but
there's a but. There's a but.
I also felt like nothing really happened in the film. So it starts off very different to how the trailer portrays it, because it is very much that Edith is the only one getting letters. And, you know, it just starts to escalate to what we see in that trailer. So it was a bit off-putting, because I was like, well, wait, had I completely misunderstood it? So it was like trying to get my head around that. There were lots of nice little touches, but I feel like it's one of those British comedies like Walk Like a Panther and things like that, where I'm like, that was hilarious, lovely, absolutely wonderful. Never thought about it again. I love the little women's investigation club that sort of got together.
The Thursday Murder Club, yes.
Yeah.
But only after we boiled an egg.
Yeah, only after we boiled an egg. Joanna
hilarious.
Scanlon was fantastic in that role, wasn't she?
Yeah, and the bit we saw where she's got her little telescope spy on her better. I like the dynamics in that group were really fun. And I did love it, but at the same time, nothing really happens.
You didn't think there was enough of a story arc for you?
No, I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, on the amount of swearing that was in it was beyond a joke. I mean, not even Samuel L. Jackson has sworn that much in a movie. So it didn't detract from the movie for me, but it didn't really give any benefits as well.
Right. Okay, all right. Andy, what's your view?
Yeah, I was at an event a few weeks ago where Mark Kermode interviewed Jessie Buckley, Olivia Colman, one of the other actresses and the director. The thing about the swearing, Emma, they were actually reading the actual letters that were sent. Okay? So in terms of there being too much swearing, I didn't have a problem with that. So for me, that was fine. I expected it to be more sweary than it was. But in actual fact, it's about as sweary as the trailer with the swearing in it. I really enjoyed it. I thought there was a lot going on. I thought the stuff in the prison was interesting. But what I came out with was that this is not only a comedy, this is actually a real social commentary on the early 1920s, and in particular, the role of women. And I sat there half of the time laughing and half of the time appalled at the way the women were actually being treated, at the misogyny, at the way they were being kept in their place. Timothy Small's character, the chief police character, Hugh Skinner's character. I came out actually thinking about it a great deal, because I was thinking, thank the Lord that society has changed so much. that we no longer live in the 1920s where women are treated and downtrodden in this way. And women police officers are just, the same as men police officers today. So I came out of it having had a really good laugh, but also thinking, wow, that was a really insightful commentary on the time. And it's only the 20s. In one sense, it's not that long ago. So I thought it was a really interesting historical document about the time. We know that questions were asked in Parliament about those letters. It was interesting. The director told Mark Kermode that she was really upset the film got a 15 certificate. She was hoping it was going to get a 12 based on the fact that it's reality. And she was saying in America it's an R certificate, which is 17 and under. So I came out having had a really good time, but also I felt I was educated a little bit into what society was like in the 1920s for women. And thank God it's changed.
I mean, I really enjoyed this as well, I have to say. Helped along by the fact that I walked into Screen 4 at Everyman in Salisbury, and it was absolutely packed for the matinee showing on Monday afternoon.
Wow.
There was not a seat to be had. So I think this is going to do very well through word of mouth. Particularly the silver dollar community are going to go and see this in droves. I certainly hope so. I think it's going to stay in the charts for quite a few weeks. We'll have to see. But I thought it was an acting masterclass from the cast. I mean, Olivia Colman. I mean, if anything, Olivia Colman was actually overshadowed, I think, by Jessie Buckley, who I think did an absolutely tremendous job playing
I'm a huge Jessie. I met Jessie Buckley at a Mark Kermode event when she was plugging Beast, which I think was her first ever film.
Yes.
And I met her there. I've been a huge fan since. I mean, Wild Rose is one of my favourite films of recent years. I just think whatever she does, she's brilliant.
She's a real talent, and in here, every little nuance of her face and so on, as she was doing it, was great. As indeed Olivia Colman was great as well. That scene we saw in the trailer, where Rose headbutts the guy, and you've got that Olivia gives that shocked look that suddenly turns to a little smirk of delight, and then back to shocked again. With just a flicker of her facial muscles. It's absolutely brilliant. Jana Vasan playing the WPC, I think that was a good role as well. Difficult role for her to play. Joanna Scanlon, we talked about. Gemma Jones was just terrific. But top of the acting stakes for me has to be Timothy Spall as the father. I mean, he was a real menacing, quiet figure there, controlling the situation. And you just wanted Edith to just pick up a frying pan at one point and whack him around the head with it. You really did.
Well, I did kind of wonder, because there was a way where the ending could have changed. Yes. And I did wonder if that was going to happen.
I don't think the ending could have changed too much, because this is fact.
It was based on fact.
The director said she was dead keen to keep it as factual as possible. And they spoke to the people involved. And what we see on screen is basically exactly what happened.
Yeah, I think we should also give a shout out to young Alicia Weir, who played her daughter. She of course was the lead in Matilda the musical, but here's another really cracking little performance from her to add to her CV, which I thought was really good. I thought it was very funny. I thought the coarse language was wrapped up in all the foxy-assed other stuff. I thought it was just hysterical, reading out these letters in court and everything. It smashed the 6 laugh test for me, but again, perhaps that was because I saw it with a packed audience as well. It did so well.
Oh, it did for me too.
In terms of any slight negative, I would have liked a little bit more description at the end about what actually happened to the characters portrayed in the film. We get a little snippet, but I had to go away and do some research afterwards, and there's some good stuff online about the actual case and what happened to all the individuals involved. I also questioned the fact that the judge in a court case was a black judge in 1920 in such a high-profile case. I would have liked that to be fact-checked, because that just didn't ring true to me for the time. But I thought it was great. I gave this one an 8 out of 10. Emma?
It's a 6 out of 10 for me.
6 for you. Andy?
I gave it an 8, Bob. I gave it an 8.
8 as well, so that's 22 divided by 3 is a 7.33, isn't it? Yes. Making Wicked Little Letters a Hit. Yep. Good stuff.